Despite being on for 17 seasons, having numerous spin-offs around the world, and being produced by a cultural icon, I'm often surprised how many people have never seen RuPaul's Drag Race. In fact, some have never even heard of it. It's almost as if a lot of people think, well, why would I watch that gay show? And that is unfortunate, especially given that of all the reality television shows out there, we have more to learn from RuPaul's Drag Race than just about any television show out there. It gets something right that almost all other media, and to be honest, almost all of us, get wrong. Let me explain. Welcome to Philosophy All Along. I'm a professional philosopher, and I like to use the tools of philosophy to help me understand the things I love, like RuPaul's Drag Race, on a deeper level. RuPaul's Drag Race has been on for a long time. It came out first in 2009 as a spoof of other reality TV. The whole idea was that it would find the drag superstar who would help change the world. But despite supposedly being a spoof, unlike every other show in the world, every episode of RuPaul's Drag Race ended with RuPaul's now famous question: if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love someone else? You see, drag has always been able to tease and make fun of itself while having at its core a deeply serious and significant message. Because the simple fact is that, especially when it came out, but even now, any performer you see doing drag, whether she's being sexy or funny or both, despite what is often tremendous acrobatics, avant-garde fashion, and makeup work of the absolutely highest artistic quality, she's been harassed and threatened, and likely experiences a fairly significant amount of self-loathing and hate. An inner saboteur with whom she struggles on the daily. A fact that Drag Race doesn't hide or exploit, but instead faces and tries to forgive. But what is it that the show does so well, more so than any other show? Is hope, and a steadfast directedness towards that hope. If you go back to the first episodes of Drag Race, heck, the first seasons, Ru's intro back then started with, "Gentlemen, start your engines. Let the best woman win." But as the show has grown to include the trans community, without comment, the song was simply changed to, "Racers, start your engines. Let the best drag queen win." There have been numerous trans competitors, and unlike the complaints about trans women in sport, Drag Race has allowed trans men to compete, despite the fact that competitors can complain that a trans man has an edge in presenting as a woman. They drive on ahead without looking back, always working to include others. And no, it isn't just some preference for the LGBTQAI community. Despite the hatred and loathing foisted on the community by the hets, RuPaul's Drag Race has included a heterosexual male competitor who became pretty famous. But that isn't the only change they've made through the show. "You've Got She-Male" was a bit that was once a staple of Drag Race that simply doesn't exist anymore, presumably because it's insulting and harmful. The show is unapologetically apologetic. And when they get something wrong, they change it and move forward instead of whining about people trying to censor their language or actions. The show just seems to ask itself if it is including or excluding, and always aims to greater inclusion and kindness. This goes so deep that even the judging practices over the years have changed remarkably. The earlier seasons, racers were often chastised if they looked too boyish or too campy. But as the show has grown, the judges themselves, often many of the same people for over the last decade, now accept and even elevate looks that were once season-ending mistakes. Because the judges have grown and realized that they were wrong and that those looks were often ahead of their time. I can think of only one other show that challenged and improved society for the better while also being self-reflective and willing to change. And that's Star Trek. It's a show about a human and non-human utopia. Basically, Star Trek just asks if we would like to be better people and then reminds us that we already know how to do it. The original series incorporated a multiracial cast, which was unheard of and frankly dangerous in 1966 when the show came out. It presented the first on-screen interracial kiss, and to this day, often to the consternation of pseudo-fans, it is willing to depict relationships and people that society is uncomfortable with as good and loving relationships, like gay relationships. And when Star Trek doesn't do something right, future seasons and spin-offs often change and address it. Because at its core, Star Trek, like RuPaul's Drag Race, is about being the best versions of ourselves that we can. Neither show is perfect. No doubt you could challenge what I'm saying with examples of things Drag Race still gets wrong. But I can't help but wonder and bet that unlike almost every other show, and unlike most of us, when Drag Race realizes it's getting something wrong, it'll fix it. While the rest of our society whines and complains anytime someone asks us to make a change to something we love, even when it's to be more inclusive or kinder, instead of complaining, Drag Race simply makes the change. For example, Star Wars fans will do everything they can to bring down a series or sometimes the franchise as a whole when any show or film makes the mistake of including someone they don't want included. Drag Race demands that its fans welcome difference, or they can go watch something else. My point is if you haven't watched RuPaul's Drag Race, you should. It's a reminder that we should all love ourselves and others, and that love comes at a cost. It requires of us the humility of growth. It demands of us that we do better. Plus, the show is honestly just fun, beautiful, and touching. I, for one, wish I could live in RuPaul's utopian dream, where queens in gorgeous fits get to dance and prance, sing, and share their stories of pain and loss, while supportive and welcoming friends look on. And where all of us, regardless of our bodies, have a chance of winning the crown, while our fiercest competitors look on at our successes with joy and love. Thanks so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, hit that bell so you can see the next episodes. If you agree or like what you heard or disagree, please pop it in the comments. I love to talk with you all. Find me, and let's be honest, the star of the show, Mr. Four over here, wherever you find your favorite podcasts and philosophy all along. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.